So instead of attempting to draw cell structure, I thought it would be easier if I just went to one of these websites that are interactive and you can learn about cell structure. Here you can see a picture of 3 cells, a prokaryotic cell, and 2 eukaryotic cells, an animal cell and a plant cell. And this prokaryotic cell, let's go to that. The prokaryotic cell, I can tell is prokaryotic because it does not have a nucleus. When I look at it, it will have a cell wall here, this blue line. It's a cell wall. It says protects against mechanical and hypertonic stress. So anyway, it's a protective surface for the cell. If I go through and I go over this red string, this is the nucleoid region. It's not a nucleus. It's just kind of basically just DNA floating around in the cytoplasm. So it's just DNA just kind of floating around in the liquid inside of the cell. And that liquid is called a cytoplasm. And then this prokaryotic cell, which is the same thing as just saying bacteria. This bacteria has these things coming out of it called flagella, and it kind of wiggles around and helps the cell kind of travel through whatever its environment is. Moving on, we go to the animal cell, and we can tell it's an animal cell because it is round-like in structure, and it has a thin cell membrane where the membrane will kind of regulate what can come in the cell and what goes out of the cell. And it has a nucleus, and so it is a eukaryotic cell. And the eukaryotic cells have a nucleus, and here we see a mitochondria where all the energy is created and stored for the cell. And then, all these other different structures that we'll talk about more in class. But just visually, you can tell this is an animal cell because of its smooth, round-like structure and the thinness of its outer layer, which is the cell membrane. Here, if we click onto the plant cell, you see that it's a little bit different, where yes, it does have a nucleus because it's eukaryotic as well, but it has these green things called chloroplasts, and this is where photosynthesis occurs in the cell, and this is where the chlorophyll is stored, and this is where photosynthesis happens. So you see these green structures, and you can tell right away that it's a plant cell, or you see a thick outer covering. That's the cell wall, and a plant cell will have these 2 structures unique to itself. It has a cell wall, and it will have chloroplasts, where an animal cell will not. It will have a nucleus, and that's, again, just like the animal cell, that's where the genetic information is stored. It will also have mitochondria and other organelles, just like the endoplasmic reticulum. They'll share the same type of organelles with each other. However, the plant cell will have the chloroplast, and it will have the cell wall. So going back, we have the prokaryotic with no nucleus and just kind of strands of DNA floating through the cytoplasm. And many of the bacteria will also have flagella. Here we have the plant cell with the cell wall and the chloroplast, the green chloroplast. And here we have the animal cell that is more round-like in structure, and it also has a nucleus, but does not have a rigid outside cell wall and does not have any chloroplasts. So that's basically it, a quick overview of the differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic, between plant cells, and animal cells.